Most people still think carry-on only is the smartest way to travel, but in 2026, that mindset is getting people hit with $100 fees at the gate. That confidence? That's exactly what's getting people charged. Airlines are measuring more carefully, weighing more often, and charging more consistently. And most travelers don't realize it until they're standing at the boarding gate, credit card in hand, watching their bag get tagged. In this video, I'm breaking down the 7 biggest carry-on myths travelers still believe, and the exact strategy to make sure you don't get caught by any of them. Number 1, believing in one-size-fits-all carry-on rule. For years, travelers were told one thing: if your bag is 22 by 14 by 9 inches, you're good. That advice is dangerously outdated. There's no universal carry-on standard. Major United States airlines like Delta, United, and American stay close to that 22-inch limit. But that's where the consistency ends. Southwest, for example, is more generous, allowing bags up to 24 by 16 by 10 inches. But try to fly an international carrier and that same bag will get you flagged. The real trap, though, is set by budget airlines. You book a cheap flight on Spirit or Frontier, you assume your roller bag is fine, then you get to the airport and learn the hard truth. Your ticket only includes a personal item. A personal item is a small backpack or purse that fits under the seat, usually around 18 by 14 by 8 inches. That roller bag you brought, it's now a paid carry-on, and if you didn't prepay, the fee at the gate can hit $75, $90, even $100. Same bag with a different airline, like different rules. Like the fix is simple but non-negotiable. Like before every single flight, check the airline's official website for your exact ticket type. Not a travel blog, not what worked last year. What works for Delta will not work for Lufthansa, and what works for Southwest will absolutely get you fined on Spirit. Verify every time. Next up, number 2, treating your personal item like extra space. Most travelers think of their personal item as bonus storage, a place for a book and some snacks. That's a mistake. In 2026, your personal item is your insurance policy. Even if your carry-on meets every rule, full flights often mean airlines force passengers to gate check roller bags to make room. It might be free, but your bag is now out of your control. Your personal item, however, is sacred. As long as it fits under the seat, it stays with you. No questions asked. This is your lifeline. So pack it like your main bag might disappear. That means it must contain all medications, laptop, phone, and all chargers, travel documents, passport, and wallet, a change of clothes and basic toiletries, anything else you absolutely can't lose. If your carry-on gets taken at the jet bridge, you're not stranded. And here's another detail people miss. Airlines are cracking down on item count. A roller bag, a backpack, and a purse can count as 3 items. Even a neck pillow clipped to your bag can be questioned by a strict agent. Before you approach the boarding area, consolidate. Make sure smaller items are tucked inside your main personal item. Walk up to the gate with exactly 2 things: 1 carry-on, 1 personal item. That small discipline avoids unnecessary attention. Next, number 3, thinking the numbers didn't change, so I'm fine. You look at the airline's website, same size limits as last year, so you assume nothing has changed. But the enforcement has. The era of the friendly gate agent letting your bulging bag slide is over. Airlines are cracking down for 2 reasons. Flights are fuller than ever, leaving 0 extra bin space, and more importantly, bag fees are pure profit. Gate check fees are a gold mine, running anywhere from $35 to over $100 per bag. Here's what that means for you. The measurement now includes everything: wheels, handles, exterior pockets you've overstuffed, that soft-sided bag that used to squish into the sizer. It might not pass a strict visual check anymore. And visual checks are happening more often, giving you 0 room to argue if an agent decides your bag just looks too big. Some airports are even testing automated laser-guided bag sizers. There's no negotiation, no flexibility, no "it fit" last time. If you're over by half an inch, you're flagged. You pay. Assume your bag will be scrutinized, not casually glanced at. Number 4, believing carry-on weight. Doesn't matter. If you mostly fly within the United States on major carriers, your bag has probably never been weighed, so you assume weight doesn't matter. Internationally, that assumption will cost you. The second you step onto a global airline or even a domestic flight in another country, the game changes. Airlines like Lufthansa, Ryanair, Qantas, and many Asian carriers enforce strict carry-on weight limits. The limit is often a surprisingly low 7 to 10 kilograms. That's just 15 to 22 pounds. A laptop, a pair of shoes, your toiletries, a jacket, and a charger. You can exceed that limit before you've even packed your clothes. And here's how it happens. You fly from New York with no issues. Then you connect through an airport like Amsterdam, Paris, or Frankfurt. At the gate for your next flight, agents are weighing bags. You're 2 pounds over. Now you're on the terminal floor, frantically repacking, or you're paying a hefty overweight fee. The solution is simple and cheap. Buy a small digital luggage scale. Weigh your bag at home. If any part of your itinerary involves international airlines, assume weight will be checked. If this is helping you avoid an expensive surprise at the airport, do me a favor and hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Travel rules are tightening, and staying informed saves real money. Number 5, falling for the basic economy and codeshare traps. You find a great deal on a flight. You book it, proud of the savings. Then at the airport, you discover that deal didn't include a carry-on bag. Welcome to the basic economy trap. On airlines like United and JetBlue, their cheapest basic economy fare often doesn't include a full-size carry-on for the overhead bin. You're allowed one personal item only. Show up with that roller bag and you'll be forced to gate check it. The fee can completely wipe out what you saved on the ticket. Just as confusing is the Codeshare blind spot. You book a flight to Paris on Delta's website, but the fine print says it's operated by their partner, Air France. You're not flying under Delta's rules, you're flying under Air France's rules. This is critical because international partners often have stricter size and weight limits. Always check the baggage policy of the operating carrier. It's their plane, their crew, and their rules. That small step prevents a lot of stress. Number 6, gambling with smart luggage and batteries. Smart luggage, with its built-in chargers, created a new kind of travel risk. Here's the absolute rule you need to know. If your suitcase has a non-removable lithium-ion battery, it can't be checked into the cargo hold due to fire risk. Period. This sets up a high-stakes gamble. If you get to the gate and are forced to check your smart bag, but you can't pop the battery out, the airline has to refuse the bag. You can't check it, and they won't let you carry it on. You may have to literally abandon your luggage to board the flight. For power banks and spare batteries, the rule flips. They must stay in your carry-on, never in a checked bag. Most batteries under 100 watt-hours are fine, but if the watt-hour rating isn't visible or is worn off, security can confiscate it. The strategy is simple. 1. Only use smart luggage with an easily removable battery. 2. Keep all power banks and spare batteries in your personal item. If your carry-on is gate-checked, remember to pull those batteries out before you hand it over. Number 7, thinking the battle ends at the gate, you made it past the gate agent. You think you've won. But even after boarding, enforcement continues. The overhead bin is the final battleground. Airlines are enforcing a wheels-in or handles-in policy more than ever. Bags must go in vertically, like books on a shelf, not sideways. If your bag is overstuffed and bulging, it may be the right dimensions, but still not fit this way. That's when you see the walk of shame, a passenger taking their bag all the way back to the front to be checked. On top of that, your boarding group matters more than ever. If you're in one of the last groups to board, there's a very real chance the overhead space will be completely full by the time you get to your seat, no matter how compliant your bag is. Your strategy options are: 1. Pack more compactly in a soft-sided bag that has some give. 2. Get a fare or credit card that offers priority boarding. 3. For maximum control, travel with only a personal item. This lets you bypass the entire overhead bin competition, strolling onto the plane stress-free. The carry-on game has changed. It's not impossible. It's just less forgiving. The era of assuming is over. The shift isn't about new rules. It's about stricter enforcement of the old ones. So before you fly, this is your checklist. Verify your specific airline size and ticket rules. Prioritize your personal item like it's your lifeline. Read the fine print on basic economy and codeshare flights. Understand the strict rules for all batteries, and don't assume flexibility from the airline. Weigh your bag for international flights. A few extra minutes of preparation before your trip can save you $100 and a lot of frustration at the gate. What's the worst carry-on surprise you've ever had? Share your story in the comments below. Thanks for watching and fly safe. I'm Daniel, your airport insider. See you next time.